English news and
and a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show, the show that talks about nothing but the truth. In my term, I call it the truth, nothing but the naked truth. That is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry that has 400 years of history, hand-forged by 10 generations of the greatest master of the craftsman. That stands for a testimony of spectacular and a share of the royal glory. All right, that's it. Brings us to the show today, which is our weekly update with my dear brother, my supporter,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ken Hamming, a political commentator. Though a bi-weekly, I really want to do it in a very compact way to cover as much as I can. Last time I told my audience that I was considering if I still bring it back to a weekly. I tried, but well, I will still be doing it if I fumble around a little bit, right? So welcome back to the show.
Greatest honor being here with you and your viewers, Jack, and also to be accepted by you with your fine character and your extreme
Thank
intelligence.
you very much.
My
honor. Thank you very much. Obviously, 2 weeks has to be a long time, right?
A lot happens.
Not to the sense of we miss each other for too much.
True.
And the audience miss you for too much.
I hope
but
so.
for the fact that, well, 2 weeks, we have too much to pack.
Yeah, the world keeps going, keeps spinning while we're apart. Yes.
All right, good. Luckily, for the past 2 weeks, there are not something that many to happen, only a few major things. However, on top of everything, I would like to bring the sanctuary cities versus the criminalities as our first topic. How about that?
I think it's a very good topic. We should tell, maybe everybody doesn't know what a sanctuary city is, but a sanctuary city is when the government of a city declares that they will not enforce federal laws regarding immigration and illegal immigrants, and they do not cooperate with ICE, which is our organization that deals primarily with getting illegal people under control and out of our country when you haven't come here legally. So what's happening is a couple examples, just to give you an idea, because when these cities say we're not going to cooperate and we're not going to help turn over people they have in custody, in jail, to ICE, even if they have a criminal record, to be deported. And two things just happened that just give shivers down my spine. One, there was up in Washington, okay, there was a fellow, a bad illegal criminal, that actually raped a woman twice, who was confined to a wheelchair, okay? So then they captured him. He was in jail for a bit, and then the judge, and we have some judges that shouldn't be judges, said that he would release him, that his sentence was just for the time he served in that jail, and would release him on his own cognizance to leave the country. After they released him, this is almost impossible to say and conceive of, but he went back and raped the woman in a wheelchair a third time and then left the country. A third time, after being released by a totally lenient, inappropriate judge. Now, and then another deal, a guy, I think it was in Pennsylvania, he had been, done violent activities, and they released him. After they released him, one of our lovely, young, innocent American female citizens was murdered, dismembered, beheaded, and pieces of her thrown all over. Now, these are because this policy of not enforcing our laws. If you don't enforce laws, you don't have a law. And it's facilitating violent criminal activities, murder, rape, and also the distribution of drugs. This is a tragedy, and I don't understand how anybody with a rational mind can support not enforcing laws. I can't get it.
Very good. Thank you for.
Maybe you can.
Thank you for bringing up these typical cases, right? Criminal cases. I have questions
huge,
to ask.
yeah.
Right? I have just questions. Yeah. When you say Washington, you say Washington State,
yes.
right?
Yes.
As a state of Washington State, though, has the state declared the state of sanctuary state?
Well, I know the city was, and see what I've heard. Like yesterday, I talked about that. Washington and Oregon were trying to outdo California in their liberal politics, and let people kind of get away with whatever. Okay, and what's happening in the
but can we confirm the state of Washington is a state of sanctuary state?
I can confirm that the city that this occurred in was a sanctuary city. I am not positive it's a sanctuary
the
state.
city this incident occurred.
Yes.
In Washington,
right,
is a sanctuary city,
for sure,
in which the law enforcement refuses to cooperate with the ICE.
Yes, exactly. Now, California is a sanctuary state.
Okay, all right, good. And second question, let me ask you: in Pennsylvania, so as a state, right? Is Pennsylvania a state of sanctuary city?
I don't know, but I know the city that the person was released in was a sanctuary city. And just as the police are not cooperating with federal authorities in the enforcement of federal laws, how can you do that? I mean, how can you do that? I don't know. I mean, you can't,
all right,
but they do.
The question number two.
I'd put the police chiefs in jail.
Question number two: typical criminal cases.
Yes, sir.
Are the perpetrators all illegal aliens?
Absolutely.
They are.
100%, yes.
They're 100% illegally in this country.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. So has
and
anybody...
they release them into society, and they have criminal records. How can you do that?
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, it just facilitates crime.
How do you relate that to the... I mean, I'm a little confused. I'm a little suffered.
Okay.
Okay. To be honest with you, my audience is I'm a little suffered myself to see those incidents happen, right? Basically, I myself support the sanctuary city or a sanctuary state policy.
You do.
I do.
So you support
I
refusing to follow federal laws.
No. Let me finish my...
Yeah, right.
But
that's what
my
you're saying,
statement. I basically support, or I originally support the sanctuary city or sanctuary state policies.
How and why?
Right. But my philosophy is that when you do have this sanctuary city or sanctuary state policies, you have to make sure, right? Make sure that your law enforcement officer in your own system does their job.
The Sanctuary City Declaration disallows police to do their job.
No.
It does.
Doing their job has many definitions, right? Doing their job. Take California, for example, all right? Or take
I'd like
LA
to take
County,
California.
for example.
I'd like to throw it out.
No. Yeah, you're right. All right. Take Los Angeles County, for example.
Yes, sir.
Right? Los Angeles County Sheriff has their job to do.
And they're not doing it.
They omit the part of their job that is to cooperate with the federal agencies.
Right.
That part only.
Well, that's enough.
However, they do have other jobs to do to catch criminals, to protect people, to protect taxpayers.
They treat the citizens, some of which perform a crime, okay? They treat them much worse because they enforce the law than they do illegal aliens coming in here with criminal records doing crimes in our country. They get treated, our citizens get treated worse because they're enforced, and they let these other people run around and murder and rape.
My whole point, I didn't finish. My whole point is that the incident in Washington State, right?
Yeah.
Only indicate that the Washington, their own system, the one in Washington, their law enforcement has not done their job.
Well, I think it also sends a message to the woman in a wheelchair, raped 3 times.
I know.
And it's evil
I know.
that they're not enforcing the laws.
The law enforcement, local enforcement, the Washington County Sheriff whatsoever done their job, the woman would not be raped 3 times.
Well, she would have been raped the first 2, but she would have been raped the 3rd time, yeah, because then he would have been out of the country. But Jack, are you really saying, I want to really know this, you support not enforcing federal laws and you support sanctuary cities? I'd like to understand the thinking, because I don't.
I support the sanctuary city, sanctuary state policy with a rational mind.
How?
All right. I am telling you how.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I am telling you how. Okay, now, there are 2 issues, right? As taxpayers, we deserve to be protected regardless who does the job. It is for example, is LAPD, LAST, whoever, I don't even care. Okay. You guys have to do the job. Now, if in Los Angeles, this woman had been raped for 3 times, regardless of LAST, do or do not cooperate with the federal agency ICE, they fail to do their job. Somebody has to pay for it.
Well, they're not
somebody has to be, well,
no one's paying for the crimes when they don't enforce the law. No one's paying for the crimes when they're responsible for the law. You know, where they don't follow the federal laws. It's like there's no civilization. If you have laws and they're not enforced, you're uncivilized.
Okay, all right. My dear friends, let's take a short moment out. I thought to discuss this matter within 1 segment time.
Maybe.
Now it looks that we have to continue. So let's take a short moment out. He is hard to deal with anyway. So we'll be right back after this little break.
Everything we have to continue to work on it now. My name is Paul James. I host English News every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow, your host on the East-West show that is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history, handforged by 10 generations of master craftsmen, which stands for a spectacular, testimony of spectacular and the share of the royal glory.
Hallelujah for Wolfers.
Sure. So someday we need to get one.
I want to, we will. I'll save my money.
Sure.
Because we are royal, Jack.
You want to get married. You want to get married, and probably I'll call them and to give you a design whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a deal.
Yeah, all right. Well, it doesn't cost you a lot.
No.
All right, good. Anyway, all right. I wish I could even say that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, anyway, back to the show. We were at this argument about one point that these criminal cases, for example, in case 1 in Washington, D.C., Washington State, a woman was raped by a criminal who is illegal alien, who had been illegal alien, who got arrested and released. All right, now, question stays right there. Why released? Shortly released, all right?
Right.
And then he raped the same woman for the 3rd time. Now the case went wild. That's it. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 case in Pennsylvania, similar thing. A woman was raped, murdered, and dismembered, with the head chopped off, parts kind of shattered everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Part of the body shattered everywhere.
After he was released,
After
it wouldn't be
this
turned
was
over to
released.
ICE.
Okay, now we go back. We need to really go back to why we released them. Right?
Well, that's
Federal court had an adjustment 2010 or 2011, that period of time. I'm not so precise with the years, but I know from a humanitarian point of view, our jails are being overcrowded. All right?
Well, and of course, President Trump has just changed
California
something.
was one of them. Well, California was one of the states.
Well, a lot of people do bad acts, and we did have laws that strengthened the sentences for these people, and then now they started releasing them earlier.
Yeah, they started releasing. All right,
Right.
now take California for example. In order to follow the federal Supreme Court order, they made the bill of the law of AB 109 to early release all these to 20,000, more than 20,000 range of, they called it
Maybe nonviolent, mostly nonviolent.
nonviolent, including murders.
Well,
Okay, let's do it. Let's do a joke, a word joke.
Yeah, it's not very
a
nonviolent.
word joke. Okay, non-violent criminals, including non-violent killers,
Yeah, whatever.
including non-violent committed killers.
Right, violence. Right.
Am I doing a word game,
Well,
or
it's-
am I telling some?
Yeah,
A logic
so when
fact.
they did that, and it was going to release people early, for those that were illegal aliens, they needed to be turned over to ICE and thrown out of the country. And they refused to do that. That's the issue.
All right.
Yeah.
The failure in the first place is that at the moment when they arrested, they were going on a helicopter or a bus or a boat or whatsoever,
Right.
throw them,
Get
or
outta
even,
here.
what is that?
Right.
The real, right?
Yeah.
Or go to Mexico
Right.
or
wherever.
Guatemala
Yeah,
or
Honduras.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Where they belong to.
Yeah.
That's where they fail.
And of course-
our government failed our people in the first place.
Totally. And by not having a secure border, like the one guy came back into America after being thrown out 6 times and killed Kate Stidley in San
And
Francisco.
blaming this, all right? Instead of blaming this, shifting the weight, shifting the focus to the little tiny point, teeny tiny point, should LASD cooperate with ICE, which is a partisan issue, which
It's
you and
not-
I,
it's-
which
no.
you and I, no, which
Not
you and
partisan.
which you and I do not agree,
Not partisan.
is a
The enforcement of federal laws, criminal law is not a Republican or Democrat issue. It is an issue of civilization and honor to the law of your country.
don't shift the ground, please.
No, I'm not shifting. It's exactly true.
don't
It's
shift
not
the
partisan.
ground. The ground is I am talking about the fact why some people support the sanctuary state policy, some do not. I'm talking about the support and not supporting is a partisan issue. All right?
Well,
it's a partisan issue.
But in theory,
It's a
there's no partisanship to enforcing the law.
Okay, I'll do that. Political ideology issue.
It'd be like there's a red light, okay? Every Democrat runs the red light because they just don't want to support that law.
No.
Every Republican stops.
No.
Same thing.
Suppose the light has to be fixed. All right?
Yeah.
The light should go green every 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Now in 15 minutes, the light's still red.
And
Okay,
then
people
sometimes-
started doing.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Now, I give you an example. I was one time, after 10,
Sure.
almost midnight.
Yes.
Me and my wife was driving at a cross street of Rush and Rosemead.
Yes, been there many times.
Ross and Rosemead. We were heading east
Yes,
on Rush,
yes,
facing Rosemead.
right.
We waited there for good 12 minutes.
Right.
There is no light.
So something wasn't working, yes. It
Right.
was dysfunctional.
Okay, now, what we did was that instead of making a left turn,
Yeah.
I backed up
Yeah.
to make a right turn instead.
Yeah.
And go way down and make a U-turn.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, make a U-turn, not to violate.
That's a perfect
Right?
solution.
Not to violate.
Good job.
And the next day, I called the city of
Yeah,
maybe
Rosemead.
Rosemead.
Yeah,
and then the
Told
answer
them.
was that cross section belongs to the territory of Pico Rivera.
okay, so they say we don't care. Okay,
We
that's
don't care.
fine. Yeah.
All right, now
That's
I am
government.
talking about the light itself.
Yeah, right.
I am talking.
You did real good there,
I
by
am
the
not
way.
talking about the fact that whether I made a left turn
Yeah, right.
instead or did this.
Yeah, you did great.
Instead, I did great.
Yeah.
Great job. So now, should we go back to fix the light first? So
Well,
that
yes.
is my point.
Of course they should.
No, okay.
Yeah.
And then
They
you and
normally
I,
do, but
you
it
and I
takes-
get some kind of agreement
Yeah.
that on the sanctuary city or sanctuary state issues, though, we should go one step further, to take care of the criminal first.
Well,
Why the criminals was released after he was convicted with the 2 rapes and stayed there for a few days and got out.
because you have leftist judges that will redefine the law from the terms of the law to
Including
their
the
desires.
judges, including the judges.
We have some horrible. Now, so far though, we've got over 200 new federal judges appointed by President Trump, and most of them would be conservative, I presume, and it's going to have a big impact. Plus the 2 new justices we have on the Supreme Court that believe in the Constitution, where some people like Ruth Gator Benz doesn't believe in it and wants to change
you're
it.
right. You're right. Politically, I have no problem going left or right because the whole country is under such a system, which is a democracy that we emphasize on the pendulum effect.
The foundation of the democracy
We
is
go
the
left
Constitution.
and right. We go left and right.
Well,
but one thing
you don't
for
go
sure,
far. You don't go too far left because you leave
Yeah.
America.
You're right.
You leave America.
I do have a problem of people now going too far left.
It's-
That's another issue, another day, another show. You and I can
Maybe
sit
today.
here.
Yeah.
I'm supporting you 100%
Yeah.
in talking about the extreme left thing.
Yes.
For example, the same-sex marriage
Yeah.
legalization. For example, the third bathroom. Those are the
That's
extreme left
insanity.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We can talk about another day.
Yeah.
But the thing is that as long as we are under this the beautiful democratic system,
Yeah.
right? Democracy allows the pendulum effect going left and right within range.
Right.
Okay, now, within the range, while we're doing the left and right,
Within
left,
the
right,
range, right.
nobody goes free, nobody goes unpunished if they fail to do their job.
Well, and they are failing.
They are failing, yes. In LA County,
It's a tragedy.
in LA County, in as much as you mentioned Washington State or Pennsylvania State, well, whatsoever, when this criminal things happen, somebody did not do their job. Somebody has to be held accountable or responsible for it. Now,
Yeah.
my only point is that, do me a favor, my dear brother.
Yes, sir.
I know you are not only a politician yourself, but you're a philosopher, right?
Yes.
To think it philosophically
I believe that.
or rationally, that to miss that whole point of who define who didn't do their job, to shift going back to who goes more extreme left. Is that something, you call it a perfect job?
Well, like liberal is one thing, but leftist is something
You're
totally
right, yeah,
different.
you're right, I agree,
So,
I agree.
Liberal's fine,
I agree,
conservatives
I
fine.
agree. Yeah, for example, even though you and I do get agreement to stop letting people going too much on the extreme left,
Right.
but you and I have to make another agreement
Okay.
that somebody failed to do their job. When this poor woman got raped, poor woman on wheelchair, disabled, debilitated, she cannot protect herself, being raped by two times.
Yeah.
Thank God the gay criminals went in jail. Everybody thought that was the end of it, right?
And it was the
now
start of
there
it.
came the third time,
Right.
which was the start of another nightmare.
And then he leaves the country and we can't even get him in
Somebody
prison.
failed to do their job for twice.
And they don't
So
care.
That's why I'm asking you and I get at least another agreement on this point that we need to find out somebody who failed to do their job first.
Should be accountable.
Nail them.
They should be accountable.
Very good.
Right.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Deserved handshake.
And
Thank
they're
you.
not.
Thank
They're
you.
not.
All right, good.
We'll get
Thank you
'em.
for this agreement.
get 'em.
All right, good. All right, my dear friend, I I believe I and McCann, who argue all the time, got finally an agreement that we believe that while stopping people going extreme left, though, we should have pay attention to the fact that nobody gets away to be not punished when they fail to do their job to protect we, the people. We have another name, taxpayers.
And citizens.
Stay with us. Right? Good. All right. We'll be right back.
Everything expected and straight. It's like seeing John Wayne.
Oh,
So
my
there-
name is Paul James. I host English news every morning. And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the East West Show. Jack Chow is hosting. That is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry. I really wish I had one piece, at least, that has 400 years of glorious history and hand forged by 10 generations accumulately of the world greatest craftsman.
Beautiful.
Which stands for a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. Everybody is longing to have.
That's true.
Yeah, even that.
I have envy. Envy.
Even that look at
Yeah,
it
me
will,
too.
will be eye feast.
It would be an eye feast.
Eye feast, right? Okay, back to reality.
Yeah, right. Back to humility.
back to humanity,
Yeah.
back to reality. Talking about ourselves, we taxpayers are quite busy. We're busy not in the sense that we have too many decisions to make. As a matter of fact, we have none.
Yeah,
We
right.
I'm only saying that we are too busy because we have a lot to worry about. Not only domestically, we got a woman on wheelchair, totally debilitated of unable of protecting herself, totally 100% relying for the government protection, to be raped for twice. Finally, when had fingers crossed, the perpetrators was convicted and went to jail. Well, nobody thought that was a start of another nightmare.
Right.
And this person got released, early released, subject to our policy, to our politics, on the street again, revengefully. This person found this very woman and raped the very poor woman for the third time.
Inconceivable.
What a failure
On America.
of America.
Yeah.
I really hate. I love my country. I paid my half-life for. Is this the freedom that I paid for?
You know, our country is the Constitution. It's our foundation. In the country, there are individuals, some of which are high quality and some are not. And when somebody is not a good citizen or not a good person here, it's not the country's fault.
And
It's
by that I mean we have to
bad
worry
apples.
about. We have to worry about. We
Bad
have
apples.
to worry about a woman in Pennsylvania was raped, dismembered,
Yep.
head chopped off, all body parts were shattered
Yep.
everywhere.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It happens. And
So-
it didn't have to happen.
So I believe she was one of the taxpayers.
Of course.
She was one of us, we the
An
people.
innocent
One of
person.
us, innocent, one of us, we the people.
could have been me.
Right
you
now,
know?
my whole point is that not only are we taxpayers, we the people, have to worry about those things which we have no say about anywhere, anyhow. We have to worry about things internationally.
Yes, we do.
Now with the Iranian situation, with the Korean nuclear situation,
Yes, sir.
and on top of those, we're talking about probably there is a chance of the G20.
The G20, which
Yeah, we have to worry.
starts this
We
week.
have to worry about that.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to give us hope. It's supposed
Poor
to be
us.
progressively
Poor
pleasant.
us taxpayers.
Yeah.
We do not make that kind of money to be paid for worrying that much.
Yeah.
We do worry, right?
Well,
so,
yeah.
what's your take about the incoming G20?
Well, now the G20 is where 20 countries are represented, and they talk about economics and policies, international policies. And two of the countries that will be there, of course, most of the European countries, and it takes place in Japan, and so Asian countries, and America and China will be there. And of course, we're involved in negotiations with China for a trade agreement that we hope is beneficial to both countries, okay? And there is a belief with a lot of proof that, you know, China does misappropriate some of our technology in inappropriate, illegal ways. And President Trump has the courage and the backbone to say, look, we've got to make this more of an even playing field. So products can be sold that are made in China here, hopefully without tariffs, and here in China without tariffs. Hard to get to that because there's been tariffs for a long time. So Trump is using tariffs to try to force them. And the Chinese economy has slowed down quite a bit. There's a lot of pressure on it. So
Which is not a bad thing.
Well, no, it's not, because it was a hyperactive for quite a while.
Growing
it was growing
super
14%
fast.
or something, yeah.
Growing super fast, unlogically, unrationally.
Right.
It's not a healthy thing.
5 to 7%, which is still tremendous, because we're at maybe 3
Within
to 4.
range, like 3, 4, 5, with that range, though, you go double digits.
It's still doing well.
When you go double digits, you
might go
really
too
have
fast.
to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go back.
But
back to yourself.
So our negotiators and China's negotiators had drafted up a 150-page agreement. When it went back to China, where supposedly some of the high up influential people in China read it, and the negotiator, the chief one for China, had agreed to these things, that everybody would have signed the agreement. We would have had progress. And then they sent it all back, pulling out many of the things they didn't agree with. And President Trump said, okay, that's fine. You rejected the agreement you agreed upon. And so now we're going to put more tariffs on. We're going to put more pressure on you. And if you want to do an agreement, come back with those issues and we'll sign the agreement. Otherwise, we're just going to have economic pressures on your economy. So right now it's a standstill. The stock market is fickle. It goes up or down based on rumors and things that have no basis, okay? But Xi and Trump will meet each other. They will talk, and who knows? Now, you know, I'm an optimist, but I'm not optimistic that they're going to come out with something substantially improved and getting us closer to a signed agreement. You know, there's a lot of stubbornness in all countries, okay? China's pretty stubborn on this. They don't want to give up their ability to follow their own culture, which allows some of these activities in you know, kind of famously Huawei, whether they're using their chips and that to spy on America, because they can. So anyway, this week, though, I just can't wait to watch President Trump and Chairman Xi sit down. They will smile, they will shake hands, they will be pleasant, and see what happens.
I just say I really appreciate for your statement, which is so mild.
It's mild.
Which is so reasonable. I thought you
love
were
both countries.
I thought you were probably will probably sound more
strong.
kind of like criticism rather than understanding.
Oh, I think I am understanding.
No, very good. And you don't mind if I go
Do
make
it.
my statement?
You're the man.
All right. Thank you very much. And I believe that being a Chinese American myself, though, I do represent quite a bit of my own folks.
Yes, sir.
Who wear the same kind of face, even though much slimmer than mine, which is
You're handsome.
expanding. Thank you very much. My wife these days try to push it down a little bit with a kind of a cream. It's been 4 days. Did I look any thinner than before? I don't know.
You look perfect.
She's kind of pushing down, like say, yeah.
I love it.
I'm telling the truth.
Yeah. No,
I was.
you're an open man.
I'm lying there with my head towards the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
like a half hanging,
Yeah.
she kind of pushed it this way
Yeah.
to push the fat away.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, not to kill it.
Maybe I should come over.
Anyway, I mean, for my folks, Chinese American folks
Yeah.
who wear the same kind of face,
Yes, beautiful face.
having the same kind of heart, which loves this country, our father country,
Yes.
which loves China, our mother country.
Yes.
Right. It's like a father-mother thing.
It
right?
is.
So, and the worst thing would happen in this world, they turn back to each other.
Right.
Right. Any chance, we are the one walk out the first with the most optimistic mind, suggestions, recommendations, or even comments. Right. Good. I appreciate that fact. Okay. Now, to be honest, for doing things properly or improperly within the technical area, though, do you agree with me, or could you agree with me? Different systems have different understandings, have different definitions.
Well, of course, that's right. But still, the entire world should have some similarities in morality and legality in honoring other people's
Yes,
legal.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is exactly the area
Yeah.
people need to sit down to talk about first.
Yeah.
Well, at least from the point of definition.
Yeah.
For example, this mug, this cup, right? First, we're talking about a round
Yes, sir.
surface, round open. As for that,
Yeah.
when I made it, have I to pay anybody who created something round? Great.
Well, in the product.
By
yeah.
common sense is there,
Yeah.
right? By common sense. And then we sit down, you and I sit down. Okay, now we confirm you may go ahead, make something round as 360 degrees,
Yeah.
right? So you have your own the determination, I have mine.
Sure.
We both agree that in this whole area, we do not blame each other, right? So those are the areas they want to talk about, they want to sit
Well,
down
see,
to.
so in terms of this misappropriating of intelligence, IT information. Okay?
I do agree.
Getting
Yeah, in some
seekers.
areas, yes.
Yeah. In terms of that, either either the countries compromise and come together, or we have to outspy them,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
we
yeah.
have to do it back.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
That's why we have spies and out spies.
Right.
We have read the.
That simple.
We do this kind of stuff all the way.
Yeah.
All the way. For example, in the embassy of China in the United States, in Washington,
Yeah.
right, you will find everything is wired up. And the same thing in
yeah.
Beijing. In Beijing,
yeah, I know.
embassy of the United States in China,
Yeah.
you will find the same thing.
You'll find
Everything
it.
is wired up.
Yeah.
Right?
Your conversations will be
fact,
heard.
Which is a fact.
Yeah.
Which is normal. All right. Now, thing is that we can't say we refuse diplomacy because you have my building, whole building wired up. Well, we can't do that. We'll still have to do things. That's why we live.
Yeah, and the problem in this age of computers, technology, chips, and that they can be programmed, to do things that are really not appropriate. And I would, as an American, I would not want chips that are coming into our intelligence system, in our systems, such as even energy or telecommunications. I don't want them coming in here made in China.
Of course.
You keep yours, we'll keep ours.
Yeah, sure.
I think
All right,
that's
my dear
that's
friend.
the smartest.
Once again, I'm thinking about to finish this in one segment. No, it can't. We can't. We have to come back for it. Okay, we're not done yet. We just feel the handle of it, and we probably, from that handle on, we'll find out more. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Everything expected and straight. It's like seeing John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I host English news and a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East-West Show. That is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers. the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of history and for hand forged for 10 generations by the greatest craftsman. And it stands for the testimony for spectacular and the share of the royal glory. That said, brings us back to the show, though. My dear friend Ken Hemming, who I respect a lot,
Thank you.
even though I argue with him a lot, he's a person that I rely upon. He's a person so rational and reasonable that every time, even the minute we started an argument, we can get an agreement right on.
Yeah.
As long as we do have agreement.
We discuss until compromise.
No compromise. All right. Yeah, very good. And sometimes we do compromise because when we realize that and compromise has to be made.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
For mutual benefit.
Exactly. I really wish that China and the United States could follow the role model of Ken Hemming and Jack Shaw. Can we do that?
Well, we're hoping for it. We're hoping for it this week.
Oh, yeah, good. And this week when President Xi Jinping of China, which is my mother country,
Yes.
and President of United States, Donald Trump, of the United States, which is my father country that I adopted, by which I'm a proud American myself.
And we're honored to have you.
Thank you. I already said to my audience that I probably represent the kind of mindset of quite a few Chinese Americans.
Absolutely.
We hope nothing wrong happen between
Right.
U.S. and China.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that for nothing. I have some foundations to hope that way. Okay, now.
Yeah. There's progress.
Yeah. First, we want to understand the priority and the impriority of doing things, right?
Yeah.
And I mean the priority way or impriority, right?
Yeah.
Right now. And also, we have to understand China is a country that has 1.4 billion people. And it's hard.
a lot of people.
It's hard
It's a lot of people.
to run. It's
It's very hard to run.
manage.
Yeah. And a lot of space too over there.
Sure.
A lot of
sure.
acreage.
And the moment President Xi Jinping signs his signature on the paper, said China will stop counterfeiting, for example.
Right.
Somebody in Gansu
Right.
will break the law.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
And then people come back and say, hey, Xi Jinping, you're lying. No, Xi Jinping is not lying.
Right. He's
you
not. That's
need
right.
somebody
Yeah.
work somehow the system to
That's right.
control the whole country.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's people.
Yeah, in spite of the fact that the guy in Gansu who just violated the copyright law by pirating the thing, whereby Xi Jinping just signed a signature, China will work to stop da-da-da-da-da-da.
Now let me ask you this very interesting question: does China have sanctuary cities? No. So you're not going to
You're
get
coming back.
Yeah. So you're not
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
You're not going to get let off easily in
Yeah,
China.
of course.
Right.
In the long run,
Yeah.
China has a better way of control once they get
Well,
their
it's
hands
firm.
on the stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
On the stuff.
It's firm.
And I'll give you another example. China is now talking about the grand data
Okay.
system by which everybody is facially recognized.
Right. Which is not a perfect system. The technology is not perfect because it can
I know,
mess up things.
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
for this issue, though,
Yeah.
in the United States, in our country, United States,
Yeah.
it will be criticized for saying, hey, you're violating privacy.
Yeah.
You're violating
Yeah.
my First Amendment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have a
Like-
real position on this one.
I know.
Yeah.
But such a thing is happening in China.
Yeah.
Such a thing is legal, is okay in China. Why? Because we are under different systems.
Correct.
Right? So your first understanding is not to understand who is right or who is wrong. The first understanding you might take
What is the truth?
is to understand that, after all, we are a different kind of a system.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could be sort of suspected and maybe even found guilty for something based on facial recognition, and it does have some issues. Particularly, it doesn't work real good on Black Americans because it's a different thing, and it doesn't quite get the same facial identification.
No, the facial thing?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It is so accurate. We thought that you and Trump look alike, right? However,
My honor.
it tells the difference right away.
Yeah, right.
It tells the difference right away.
Yeah, by
right?
lack
And
of
so
intelligence.
So precise, it is 10 times better than fingerprints.
Well, that I don't know.
Yeah, it's 10 times precise
Fingerprints are pretty good.
than fingerprints, right? Okay, now, when that seems to prove to be okay, though, China will have a better way to control its 1.4 billion people. And by then,
A lot of people.
the one will not violate the law, right? Like that dramatically. So everything allows time, right? So do you think you and I could get in some kind of agreement that we, number two, have to understand we are under two different systems?
Dramatically, totally opposed to each other, and part of the foundation of America is Christianity, and of course that's not the foundation of Chinese
And
system
also,
and culture.
internationally, historically, I believe not only me, not only Chinese Americans,
Yeah.
I mean Chinese
Yes.
who are still there back home, right?
Yes.
Realize that the only country that has never taken 1 inch of land from China,
Okay.
that has never set an invasion foot on land of China,
Yeah.
who?
America.
United States of America.
Yeah. We're not imperialistic. We're not. And
Whoever we are.
yeah.
Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead. Have your problem.
Have your
freedom.
country.
Have your freedom.
don't
Name us.
endanger our
Name
freedoms.
us. We may be capitalists. We may be imperialists. Whoever. We may be the devil.
Yeah.
But it's proven in history, United States has never invaded 1 inch of China.
No.
Instead,
Right.
during the most bloody war of Japanese invasion to China,
Terrible.
United States was the first nation that stood up among all the UN, United Nations,
Right. To help
to help
protect China. Yeah.
To
We had, a
help
lot of, we
China.
had a lot of people over there. We had a lot of airplanes over there helping.
All right. So, to reciprocate,
Right.
when United States pilots, the Flying Tigers,
Yes, sir.
bombed Beijing, bombed Tokyo,
Right.
right,
Right. Yeah.
and they were on the suicidal mission to go of a free landing, whatever landing.
They didn't
in
have
China.
quite enough gasoline to get to good places
Yeah,
to land.
yeah. Right? And the gasoline was
Several went down China.
just be enough to bring them to finish the mission
Right.
and land somewhere, God knows, in China.
Right. Right.
And for that, the Japanese went crazy.
They did.
They burned,
Entire
kill,
villages.
slaughter entire villages
that may have helped
after
an American.
villages after villages to find the American pilots.
Right.
Who? It was the Chinese villagers
That
who stood up,
yeah.
put their life in line
God bless
to
them.
protect them.
Yeah. Bless them for that.
So, the relationship you were talking about, if there's any relationship, I would call this the relationship.
that was bonding. That was very bonding.
If there's anything called friendship,
Yeah.
you call this the friendship, which
know-
is in exchange of blood and life.
Right. That's right. No, you give your blood.
I sincerely and strongly and irrationally and I philosophically and logically believe there's no reason that U.S. and China should strangle each other.
You know, in both countries, both countries too, the average people out in the little villages, et cetera, they listen to the media. In the media's, both countries just so
Oh, the media is
strong,
not helping at all.
totally disastrous to both countries.
Oh,
Because there's
they're
not
not
both
helping at all.
sides shared in China, not both sides
If
shared
they
in America.
do what I say now,
Yeah.
tell them what happened in history
Oh, yeah.
between U.S. and China.
Oh, the people of China.
People would assume, China and the United States, is that's the moment
We're just
conducting
people.
a not a very happy conversation.
We're
That's
just
all.
people. Yeah,
That's all.
we're just people.
But yeah, we're just people. People make mistakes, including Donald Trump, including Xi Jinping, including Jack Xiao, including Ken Hamming. We're all human.
We're human.
We're all human. We sit down, we talk about it, and we resolve a problem.
But if we have a decent heart, we can keep working toward real mutual beneficial relationship.
Exactly.
I want China to thrive. I want us to
If there is
thrive.
any other, any two countries
Yeah.
deserve a relationship, I mean U.S. and China.
I agree.
Because we have the history tested,
Right.
blood strain.
A lot of blood. And you know, the other country that's huge, that's
Relationship.
not quite in the whole thing yet, is India. They got 1 billion people plus, and so it's developing, and you know, you almost got half the world in India
Okay,
and
my
China.
brother Ken.
Yeah. But
Mr. Ken.
we
Hamming.
could get along beautifully
Yeah,
with
sure,
China.
Sure,
The
very
people,
good, very good.
No problem.
For conclusion, let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's pray.
It will update
Yes.
in 2 weeks.
All right, we'll update in 2 weeks. All right, see you then.
Thank you.